Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, come on. Let's get this thing together. I know I'm late. I'm late. Come on in if if you got some time. Want to talk about a thing or two. Whew. I'm late and I'm tired. I'm late and I'm tired. But I'm here. Late, tired, but here. And that's really all that matters. Okay, not really, but I am here. Oh, okay. Well, if I'm about to get a call, they're gonna have to wait. Good afternoon, good people. Good afternoon. Come on in. Come on in. Sorry for my tardiness. Yeah, I am. I'm tardy. I apologize. Sorry for my tardiness. I no, I couldn't find my keys. I know you're thinking, why do you need your keys to do your show? I was trying to do something a little earlier and I couldn't do it because I couldn't find my keys. And so I had to look all over the house for my keys. Of course, they were in my coat pocket. I forgot that I haven't worn my coat in a minute. So, you know, I apologize. Uh, Says you got the call in line now. Oh, hold on, let me put it back up there. Put it back up there. 513-717 King. That's 513-717-5464. Make sure I got everything kind of set up for that. 513-717 King if you'd like to get on board. Excuse me. Some water or something. Throat is good and dry. But come on in, Ron Omega, Carol, J Rose, ZIYT. I just put you up because I can't say all of that. Yeah, I do need one of those things where I can find my keys. Oh, by the way, Jamal did send me, and what was the word that he said yesterday? Oh, hold on. He sent me a message about it. Exaggerative. It's actually a word. So, all right, he was right. It was a word. I did not hear, Jason wants to know that I hear Lincoln's April Fool's joke. I didn't hear Lincoln's April Fool's joke. And then somebody called me, and so I called Lincoln, and he told me what he did, and I thought that was kind of funny. Yes, I know, late. Yes, I need a little moisture in my throat. Yes. Come on in, Terry. Good to see you too. Change my little color scheme, as you can see. And of course, again, you can come on in. All right. Since I'm late, let me go ahead and get started. I'm looking at this article on WLWT.com. Cincinnati police city leaders announce plans to reduce gun violence this summer. Scotty Johnson is quoted in here extensively, and okay, I like it. Something has to be done. According to the article, we are up 30% in terms of gun violence from last year. Now, I know we talk a lot about homicides. I talk a lot about homicides. It's important. People killing people. It's important. So we talk a lot about homicides, but They talk about just shootings. Hold on, let me see if I can get down to the numbers. Keep scrolling. The city has recorded over 20 homicides and over 80 shootings in the first 3 months of the year. Over 80 shootings in the first 3 months of the year. That I'm gonna do the old school thing. When I was coming up, y'all know, back in the late 70s through the 80s, a lot of y'all was right there with. There wasn't this many shootings, and see, this ain't. I'm not talking about the 50s and the 60s, where they didn't have access to the weapons. I'm talking about late 70s and 80s, where we had access. We had access to weaponry, but it was very rare to hear of somebody getting shot and or killed. It was rare. And when I mean in my peer group, in my well, I guess late 70s, didn't, I know I was like 10 when it turned 1980. So I didn't know any 10-year-olds who got shot. But through high school, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a I can't think of a single one of my peers in high school who was shot and killed, or who was shot. I'm really trying to think. I can't think of a single one, or anyone that I knew or knew of. I can't think of a single one. Now, if you are, around my age, I'm 51. If you're around my age group, and I'm curious, did you know of anybody who was shot and or killed in your age group? I can't think of anybody. Jason said he had a friend who was shot and killed, and he's 47. Okay. I can't think of any. So I don't want to say it's a new thing, because clearly it's not new. But and someone said, who was it, Jason? Yeah, I agree. We need police to get out of the car and start walking neighborhoods and develop relationships with people, even the people that we've been told are bad people. Get out of the car. I can drive through my entire neighborhood. I can drive everywhere. You don't see police officers out of their cars unless they've gotten called somewhere, and then they drive there and they get out of the car, and that's what they deal with. Would that make a difference? Now, South Scotty, he's like more rec center hours and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't know about. I don't know what the I was about to say something. I don't know what the bad guys and girls, because it's girls too. I don't know what the bad guys and girls do on their free time. But I don't imagine that they kicking it at rec centers. But maybe the idea is, if we got more rec centers, then there would be less bad guys, because we get them as youth, then they be in the rec centers, I guess learning to play ball or whatever. Maybe that's I don't know. Clearly I don't have an answer. If I had the answer, the problem would be solved. But I don't know that the rec center is gonna bring down gun violence. I'm not against the rec center. I just don't know that it's gonna bring down gun violence. Kids not going to no rec center. And they got another $250,000 in the budget for police overtime. And I'm not against police getting overtime if they need overtime to do whatever it is that they need to do. I'm not against police getting overtime. It just feels like these are all like really old ideas that haven't worked. And Scotty said, if we want to, basically, you want to get different results, you got to be willing to do something different. That's what he's quoted as saying in the article. But I don't really see anything different. Let me read a little bit from the article. Johnson says most of them, unfortunately, appear to be dispute oriented, where people have beef and they're not resolving them amicably. It doesn't just lay on police or council. It's got to be a collaborative effort with the community and everybody else. Johnson said the community, police, and lawmakers all play a role in reversing the negative trends. He said council has expressed interest in innovative prevention methods, like working with the CRC to expand rec hours and expand the number of pools that will be open for neighborhood kids this summer. That's an innovative prevention method. I'm not against either of those things. I'm not against either of those things, but neither of those are innovative. So I'm certain he said some different stuff. I'm certain he said some different stuff. But I don't know. Hold on. I'm making an adjustment here. Making a slight adjustment. But yeah, I don't know that either of those ideas are new or innovative. Again, I don't have the answer. I promise you I don't. If I did, there would be no shootings. But I didn't hear anything new. I didn't hear anything new. But I like the idea that the conversation is happening. I like the idea that the conversation is happening. And I mean, you can't beat that. What is the answer? What is the answer? I mean, okay, other than parents raise your children right, instill good values in them, teach them conflict resolution, teach them violence is not the answer, all of that good stuff. But that's not happening. And either way, you're not going to accomplish that by the end of the year for some 22-year-old. So we got people out here who are violent, who get into altercations with people, and who feel like the solution is violence. And so they shoot. They shoot. How do you solve that? And I know it's about to sound like I'm negative and defeatist. I don't know that there is an answer for that. I don't know that there is an answer for that. It sounds like just one of those things that we're gonna have to live with, or die with. And for me, the idea is, or always was, because I raised some kids. My idea was to teach my children right from wrong, teach them all of that stuff that we talk about, and express to them how to solve problems, how to walk away, Make sure that they didn't do kind of like what I did growing up. I did. If there was an altercation, I wanted to be there. I wanted to see the fight. I wanted to be involved in some way, shape. I didn't want to fight, but I wanted to see it if somebody else was fighting. But people don't fight nowadays. People shoot. So you got to get away because you might get caught in crime. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, my contribution when I was coming up or when I was raising children, my contribution was to teach my children to not be a part of the problem. That was my contribution. Not just my children, but any other children that were in my, sphere of influence. When I was coaching football, yeah, I coached football. I coached football. When I was coaching football, well, okay, I didn't really coach. I made sure they didn't squirt each other with the water and the Gatorade and stuff. That was my main job. But I participated. And so when I was doing that, I had these conversations with all of these little kids. Because a lot of them was, and people going, oh, single mothers, and I'm not getting on single mothers. But a lot of these people were single moms bringing their kids out to play football. In my mind, the reason that they were bringing their kids out to play football was because they wanted them in some activities and around some positive male influences. Excuse me. And I was down with it. I was down with it. And I figured if I'm here to be a positive male influence, I'm gonna talk to these kids about this stuff. Hey, I was not the water boy. I was not the water boy. I was like, y'all making me detour. But I was not the water boy. I was the dude that get away from that water. Stop playing with that water. Get back over here. Don't run out. Stay back, stay back, stay back. Some of the drills when the coaches would do it and they would send them to me. And, I'm watching, this is the drill. And I would make sure that they did the drill and did it right. But on the game day, me on the sidelines, yeah, get back, get back, get back. Pay attention. Pay attention. What if you have to go in? You ain't gonna know what's going on. Pay attention. Stop playing. Get off that water. Get off the water. You done had enough water. You good. You ain't even played and you ain't that thirsty. Put the water down. Don't squirt him with that water. Don't. Yeah, that was me. That was me. I'm not ashamed of it. But so yeah, I would talk to the kids. I would talk to the kids. I coached these kids from what, kindergarten through the 6th grade. And we would have all kind of conversations about what makes for good people to some degree in the context of football, because you can use athletics to teach life lessons. And I felt like that was what I was there for. I felt like that was what those moms brought those kids to football for. That's what I felt like. So yeah, that's what I did. Some of them single mamas was trying to hit too. I wasn't none of them trying to get with me. So I don't have no problem with that. Y'all got jokes today. Y'all got jokes today. Ha ha ha. That's so funny. Hold on, let me do this so I can stop putting that up there so y'all can see. Y'all can see the comments from everybody as they come in. But yeah, that's a solution. That's a solution. Maybe not the solution, but it is a solution. Daryl says, I coach youth football too. And that's exactly how it was for me too. Coach 9 and 10-year-olds with Icky Woods. Then I moved down to coach 5 and 6 year olds. That becomes your job. Angela says scolding equals talking. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we had conversations. That was, during the game. You had to be there. You had to be there. You had to be there. But yeah, I think that's what's needed. But that won't address right now. That won't address right now. And right now, we got people, younger people, people in their 20s, people in their 30s, late teens. They have weapons. They have access to those weapons. And they get into altercations and they use those weapons. That's how they solve problems. You said what? You said what? I shoot you, I win. If you die, I win. Oh, Facebook. I'm not suggesting that anyone do that. I'm using that as I don't want to get banned again because I said if I shoot you, I win. I'm talking about the mindset of someone else. Okay? Because I know Facebook, they don't know. I think they got a program, shoot, ban them. So I want to be sure. It was the same way when my son played for the Little Red Machine. Young mothers dropping off kids. Of course, yes, some of this is fathers. Fathers, where y'all at? Where y'all at? You got fathers, you got dudes running around. And y'all know every time I get into it, I try to look at the other side because I think the women are in the position of power in that whole dynamic. You decide. Unless he's raping you, you decide who you have sex with. You decide if you're down with not using protection and all of that kind of stuff. You make that decision, but that doesn't excuse the deadbeats, the not involved, any of that kind of stuff. But again, that's the young kids. That's those coming up. What do we do about these people who are out here right now who are shooting and killing people? And I don't think rec centers, I'm not against rec centers. And I'm not against police overtime if it's being done right. I'm not a police officer. I don't know the way that they do their policing. But I know, like I think it was Jason's, they don't get out the cars now. And it's hard to develop a relationship because look. This is just the way I see it. And again, you can call 717-KING, 717-5464. Of course, 513 is the area code. To get on board. But I never needed a relationship with the police because I wasn't going to get in no trouble. I wasn't a troubled young person. I wasn't running with the wrong crew. Well, a little bit, but when the wrong crew was about to do wrong stuff, I said, it is time for me to go home. And that wasn't because I was such a good kid. That was because I was scared of my mama. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I was afraid of my mama. And I knew that if the police ever brought me home, that would be the least of my worries. I knew if I ever got arrested, I would have rather have stayed in jail than to go home. So that was why I didn't need a relationship with the police. I had a relationship with my mama and that belt. And I'm still, people like, oh, whoopings ain't this and whoopings ain't that. Whoopings kept me out of you don't know how much trouble. Because that was for real the thing that I thought about when it came time to do some dirt. When it came time to, do some create some trouble. When they was, I didn't know what it meant the first time they said it. They said, we're going to go down to Calvin's and put in some work. And I honestly thought, what, Calvin is giving us jobs? I'm definitely going down to Calvin's. Go down to Calvin's and they stealing. That was them putting in work. That was what they called it. They stealing. What did you get? What did you get? I didn't get nothing. Because if I get caught stealing, my mama might kill me. And I know that sounds like I'm being hyperbolic, but I honestly thought that that little lady would have killed me. So I didn't do it. I didn't steal no chips or no cookies or no whatever. That's it. I didn't do it. But there were, now those people kind of that I was running with, they needed a relationship with the police. And I have to be honest, I don't remember seeing police walking anywhere near out of their cars when I was growing up. You might see police. You might see police if you went to some event. That's when you maybe ran into police. But when do people run into police? When do, like, the idea that police should be, and I feel like I'm about to sound like a racist, a white racist. But the idea is, in my mind, is that police should, for the most part, be in areas where there's trouble. If there are high crime areas, police should be there, out of their cars, talking to the potential, not harassing them, not abusing them, not violating their rights, talking to them and developing relationships with them. And to some degree, you got to be a mentor. You're a police officer, you got to be a mentor. So yeah, you see the dudes. I don't know. I still see dudes hanging around on the corner. I think if I was a police officer, and I'm saying I think if I was a police officer, although I would never be a police officer, I think if I was a police officer, I would be the police officer that would get out of my car and be dapping up all the brothers that are potentially doing dirt. What's up? Because I want to have a decent relationship with them. I think that's what I would be doing. You know, yeah, I'll be asking them, hey, what y'all doing out here? Y'all ain't getting into nothing, are y'all? Yeah, because y'all know if y'all get into something, I'm gonna have to come down here, but I might just kind of kick it with them. And if the police officer in uniform is standing there kicking it with you, there's a chance that y'all not about to start no trouble. There's a chance that if an argument happens, I'm there. The police are standing right there. And in my mind, a couple things happen. Either they stop hanging out where I'm hanging out, and then I got to go find them or find another crew to hang with, or problems in this area die down. Maybe, but I don't, look, again, I'm not saying that this is the answer, but if we paying another $250,000 in overtime to police, I don't know that we just need them hanging around in a car driving. Just driving. Easy say just rolling. Don't know where they're going. I don't know that we need that. Maurice says that's not the real world. What is the real world? Because that seems really real world to me. That seems real world. I mean, the real world now, of course, is they drive by. Maurice says they'll move from one location to another. That's what I said. I would have to move with them. I'd be there hanging with them. What's up? What's up? What's up? And then they'll leave. And so, cool, this area is good now because ain't nobody here. Well, where did they go? And then I'd be in my car till I find another crew hanging out. And I think I would get out of my car. And I think I would be like, hey, how y'all doing? No, don't go nowhere. I'm not here to harass nobody. I'm not here to arrest anybody. I'm just here to talk to y'all. Let's just kick it. So what's up? What y'all doing? And then they'll leave that area and they'll just have to be running from me all the time. Jason said, you can't just follow crews around. It would. So I can just sit there in my car and drive around, but I can't be, with the, I don't, look, again, I'm just telling you what I think I would do if I was a police officer. I know what's happening right now ain't working. And then when you're talking about, if you want to do something, you want to get something you never had, you got to do something you never done. That's something that I don't see. So that would be something different. Expanded rec center hours. That's not different. Open the pools. That's not different. I don't see, and I don't be at the pool, so maybe they know something that I don't know. But I don't see a lot of, the people who, in my mind, would be running around shooting each other, kicking it at the pool. And if all the police officers did it, all the police officers in the district, see, not just me, if all the police officers in the district, because I mean, I'm not going to, if I'm in Avondale, I'm not going to Hyde Park to kick it. But okay, hold on, got a call. Let me see if this works today. Hello? Oh, hold on. Something's happening here. Oh, okay, there we go. Hold on a second. And Hello. There we go.
Hey.
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What's going on? This CK, man.
CK? What's up?
Man, yeah, you were talking about the violence. You said you don't think it's a way to curb it, to slow it down a little bit?
No, I don't.
Well, remember I was trying to explain to you a few months ago the boxing, because you're a wrestling fan. I was telling you about the boxing.
Okay.
And I'm like, look, listen, this the thing. You said that there's corruption in boxing when you seen robberies, right?
Yes.
But I'm saying if we both, you're a judge and I'm a judge, what if we're watching the same fight?
Right.
You think that guy won and I think the other guy won. So that's the problem. We don't respect each other's opinion. You'd be like, well, you're telling me I took a bribe.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't see what you're saying in context of what I'm talking about.
No, that's the problem. The violence comes from, American violence starts from not respecting each other's opinions. So we demonize each other, which leads to violence. See, we don't respect each other's beliefs. We characterize people based on an opinion.
But
you know what I mean? It's like,
but we can disagree without being violent.
Right,
what?
right.
What?
But this is okay. If I slap you, Emanuel, I have to know I have no respect for myself, right? Because I'm being a coward. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't handle what you said. I took it to violence. So whatever repercussions, if you hurt me or just end it, you're justified because I should never cross that boundary. Would you agree?
I'm a little confused.
The problem is we justify violence. We justify reasons to put our hands on each other.
People do.
Like the
yes.
incident with the Will Smith.
Yes, people do that.
That's and I remember you were talking to the Councilman Curtis, one of them guys, the cop guy, and he's talking about a fight. And you was like, see, that's the problem, the fight. No, we're taking the violence all the way out. Nobody has the right to put hands on anyone.
Right.
There's no need to say Chris Rock is not pressing charges. The state will pick it up. That's why the state picks up charges, because you might intimidate me where I don't want to press charges, right?
So how do you have any ideas as to how we solve that as a problem?
Oh yeah, it's very simple.
Oh,
it's very simple. You have to shame the criminal, the violence. You have to shame that. Stop being tough. We're destroying ourselves with the tough guy image. We're you know what I mean? Just if I'm feeling threatened, if I'm with my wife and I feel disrespected by somebody, I don't have to go to violence. I can de-escalate the situation by saying, hey, come on, Chris Rock, man. You know we love you. If man, you know she don't appreciate that. Could you just move on? You could de-escalate it that quick. You don't have to go straight to violence.
Okay, and so how do you
looking for the drama show?
Wait, so how do you get that message through to the 20-year-old, the 25-year-old out there on the street today? How do we get that message through to him or her to convince them that this tough thing ain't really where it's at?
There you go. As 50-year-old men, we have to stop acting like teenagers. We have to be mature and stop, stop doing. We're setting an example for them. And when we tear each other down, Emanuel, they just follow that lead. You know what I mean? But if we build each other up, that's why when I call, I say, you got the best show on YouTube. You got the best show on Facebook. I give you an example of when I see a black person. Remember, I told you, I don't treat people equally. I treat people differently based on race. I treat a black woman the best because I came out of a black woman. I treat a black man second best because I am a black man. Then I go, not the other race, but the white, then the white woman, and then the white man at the bottom. Because and when you see this, that type of philosophy, other people respect it. White people respect, like, oh, he respects his people like we respect ours. He respects black women more than he respects us. They don't like when you kiss white people ass and then put your own people down. And Chris Rock got in a little trouble for that. But the violence is no excuse. But that's why he got slapped. You kept on poking the bear, and it came back to bite you.
But look,
talking about Jada Pinkett.
But CK, but you back to talking about Will and Jada. I'm not talking about Will and Jada. I understand.
Yeah, I'm talking about the violence.
Right. And so what I'm saying is right now, the city of Cincinnati, they're trying to deal with their gun violence issue. And I agree with everything that you said, I believe. I think I agree with everything that you've said. I'm just not sure how we translate that today to these young people or some not so young people out here in the streets shooting each other.
I got the control. A 20-year-old, I'm an elder, so he looks up to me. When I talk to him, when I tell this game to him that I'm giving you, he looks up to it. He respects it fatherly. So that's what I'm saying. It's one person at a time, and you spread that gospel through the thing. Because now you tell people we destroying the best of our people. Now the young people know it best because they lost Young Dolph. They lost Nipsey Hussle. We lost Tupac and Biggie. You use their people they look up to that they lost to inspire them to go against the violence. So a lot of young people, it's really the gang violence. And if you could curb the gang, if you could shame the gang, life, you could win. That Kirk, when you tell the young people, look, man, you are lame if you get in the game. People would agree because you stand alone. Put God first. Have faith in the youth. Education is the only way to the truth.
Now, CK,
always remember that.
CK, again, I agree with you, but I don't know how effective that's gonna be out here in them streets. Let me tell you,
it's easy. One life at a time, sir. One person at a time. You can do it because
you can do
father,
it with some of them, but with some of them you can't do it. Some of them just ain't trying to hear, and those are the ones that, at least in my opinion, those are the ones that are running around with guns shooting people.
And remember to shame them for killing their own. You should listen. I can't smack Emanuel because I ain't never smacked a white man. Period. So if I can't smack no white man, I damn sure can't smack a black man. You feel me? Period.
I do. I understand what you said, and I agree with you. I do.
So if I smack you, everything you do to me, I got coming. Even if you eliminate me on the spot, that's what's gonna keep me safe. My philosophy keep me safe on the street. I don't have to walk with pistols. I walk with God. So you teach this philosophy, and people know, like, oh, I ain't got to be in the gang. A gang is lame. What, I'm gonna get beat up? I gotta go kill somebody so I can get in the gang. Now I'm doing life. I got to go kill somebody to join the gang. Come on, man. It's easy to change it. You just gotta. We've been feared. We be scared. We trying to be tough. The old men is being tough. That's why the violence is so high. We still acting hard. We got Snoop Dogg still in the game. He's 50-something years old. These guys is 40 and 50. This is the problem, sir.
CK, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just wondering how to translate that to those young people who all shot each other in Covington, and to the 80 shootings that have happened in Cincinnati this year, to the 20 homicides from those 80 shootings this year. I'm agreeing with you. I mean, you are making perfect sense. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not even
curve the 80 to 11 with my philosophy because, like I said, I'm touching every soul. You got to think. I have a mouthpiece, so I can get out of a life-threatening situation with the gun pointed at me. Because if you don't pull the trigger, that's why if I do die, I want to be looking down the barrel. I can't get out the barrel if you shoot me in the back of the head. But if you give me a chance, ooh-wee, watch this, sales pitch. You see what I'm saying? I could change the world with my philosophy. We just being tough guys, and we're teaching the young people to be violent. If it was more people like us teaching nonviolence, it wouldn't be none. But we being tough. Like, oh, when I see a man, I'm going to smack him. Man, you 44 years old. Man, you don't sit your old ass down. That's what they doing. We lost people personally over this nonsense. Over nonsense.
CK, hey,
that's all I'm saying.
Your call. You make perfect sense. It's just
so just know, don't have doubt. That's part of the problem is the doubt. You don't believe it. I believe. I know we can stop it because I saved my own life with beliefs. All right. So I can't be saying, "Oh no, we can't stop the violence." Shit, it's easy. We black. We the greatest thing God ever made.
All right, CK.
All right.
Hey, I appreciate the call. See, look, I agree with CK. Believe it or not, I do. I mean that. Again, it starts at home, but then you get these people out in the street. And sure, if you can get out there and touch them and get through to them, if you can get out there and touch them and get through to them, then maybe you can cut down on some of this. But we all know. Hold on, let me dwell on that for just a second, because I don't want to say it and then dismiss it and then come back with my negative side. So if you can get out there and you can talk to some of these people, young and old, and you can touch them and reason with them, get them to understand it and look at things different, yeah, we can change this. So I sit on that for just a second because he's right. Now, at the same time, there are those that they're not listening. They are so steeped in this is their lifestyle. This is their culture. They about that life. That's what, I hear a lot of the young people say. Or at least I used to. I don't really hear them say that no more. But you can't reach them. If you try to talk to them, you got problems. You got problems. And I think this is kind of what Scotty was saying, where Scotty was like, look, yeah, the police, yeah, city council, all of these people, but also the community has a role. And I think, along with what CK was saying, yeah, the community has a role. The community has a role. The community is to talk to those people and reach those that they can reach. I'll use this as an example, even though it's not a big deal to me. Some brothers you can say, hey, bruh, you know what I'm saying? You might want to pull them pants up a little bit. I can see the crack of your behind, and I got my daughter with me, and I don't want her seeing that. And some brothers is like, grudgingly, but they'll pull their pants up. Other brothers is like, you're gonna make me pull up my pants. I ain't gotta pull up nothing, OG. And you like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even trying to do all of that. You don't want to pull them up, don't pull them up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not don't shoot me because you don't want to pull up your pants. And along with all kind of other stuff. Look, when I'm out and about and I see stuff that seem, not that good, I try to address it, but I'm not stupid. You got to assess a situation. You got to assess a situation. So you can step in and you can say, hey, bro, let me holler at you for a minute. Sometimes they'll listen. And other times, you know what I'm saying? You figure it out. Like this can go south real quick. So yeah, that's the community role where I'm, as a 51-year-old man, if I can talk to you and help you get on at least what I believe to be the right path, I'm down with that. That's the community role. I feel like that's what CK was saying. You get out there and you reach one. You get out there, Dante says, what's the phone number? It's on the screen, but you might not be able to see the screen. 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. But see, this is where I'm saying this is where the police come in. Oh, wait a minute. This shouldn't be ringing in my ear. But hello.
Hello, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me pretty well?
I can hear you. What's your name?
Dante.
Dante. All
yeah.
right.
Hey, my question is, this is my first time really listening to you. I was trying to catch you, but can we say what we want to say?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you know what you're trying to say in a nice way?
What am I trying to say?
It's black people and it's niggas, man.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, man, because you know what, man? Everybody, like you said, everybody can be weak. Everybody got a different mentality. Some people, man, that's their mission. Some people's mission every day is to wake up, man, and be destructive.
Well, hold on, Dante, I'm gonna let you say what you want to say, but let me clear this up. The bad people aren't all black people. So
but them only people I'm concerned about, man. If I can get my own people together, I ain't worried about the other people. I got to get my own people together first. I got to clean my own porch first.
I'm concerned about everybody, but more than even being concerned about them, I'm concerned about the way that we characterize each other. And if we looking at ourselves as ends, that's a problem. There are
we're not looking at ourselves that way, but some people look at themselves that way, and we have to treat them as such. Everybody's not fit to be in this society, man. Some people are far gone, man. You look at some of the crimes out here today, man. Some of the stuff that people do to each other.
Like, man, I just saw a story. I just saw a story today, man. A guy followed a woman, a 53-year-old woman, man, beat her down and took the money that she had for her paralyzed son. Like, beat her down, man. You in front of her door. Like, man, some people are not fit for this society, man. And we always sugarcoat things, making it like, well, how can we? Some people just can't be fixed, man. They can be. Some people are just that evil, man. They just can't be fixed. And we have to own up to that and defend ourselves against those people. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but some people, man, it's not fit to be with us, man. Not fit to be around this society. And it's crazy. It's crazy that nine times out of 10, man, I'm gonna be harmed by my own people, man, by somebody that looks like me. But they won't do it to the other guy. They don't respect him. They don't go into these prominent communities and do the things that they do. I do understand that things are targeted towards us and everything else. But just because it's targeted towards us doesn't mean you have to do it.
Hey, Dante.
Don't, man.
Dante.
Yeah.
Are you on a speakerphone? You got me on speaker or Bluetooth?
Yeah, I'll take you on.
Yeah, because you sound much clearer.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like, man, everybody's not fit to be amongst normal citizens. Not to be normal, but everybody's just not fit, man. There's some crazy people out here, man.
There are some crazy
wild folks out here, man.
There are some crazy people out there. I'm glad that we switched up the terminology. I can live with that. And in terms of hear what I'm saying, Dante. All right, say you out there living that lifestyle, right? You seem like a somewhat reasonable guy. Somebody can get to you and have a conversation with you and maybe change your mindset. But for those people that you're saying who are not fit, I don't know that I agree that it's that many people out here who are not fit. I think it's just a lot of people out here who have bought in. And that's where, again, to bring it to the conversation that we're talking about with here in Cincinnati, they're talking about let's do something different. And they're talking about $250,000 in police overtime. Them people that you talk about that's not fit, they not going to the rec center. Them people that you talking about that's not fit, they not going to the pool.
No, to me it's dumb because I mean, police are reactive, not proactive, man. They come when the crime's already committed. So you can put as many police as you want on the street. If I'm gonna get Emanuel, I'm gonna get Emanuel. Doesn't matter who's on the street.
Maybe, Dante, but maybe.
No, it doesn't, man. It doesn't, man.
Dante, let me ask you this. Because I don't know. I don't live that life. So let me ask you this. Is it possible, Dante, that you want to get Emanuel, but you have meaningful interactions with somebody in law enforcement that you respect, and they can have a conversation with you that Emanuel can't have with you? Because if you know what I'm saying, if I'm up on you, Dante, and I'm like, look, violence, that's not the way to solve it. I'm just Emanuel. You might do something to me, but if you're talking to the police, full uniform, gun on his hip, you're not about to shoot that police officer right there just because he's trying to have that conversation with you. So there's a good chance that you're going to actually listen to him. It might or it might not change your mind. But it
depends on what I'm getting Emanuel for.
But it
depends on what I'm chasing Emanuel for. Because in some cases, man, Jesus Christ can come talk to me. I got to get Emanuel though. It depends on what I'm after Emanuel for. But I just feel it's like some of these things that politicians and everybody put out here. It doesn't affect that guy. Like people are always saying, put jobs in the community. Man, most of the guys that's out here doing these crimes, they don't want to work, man. Working is not on their agenda. You can give them whatever job you want to give them. But work is not on their agenda.
Agreed.
It's like when you have these town hall meetings. The guy you should be talking to is not at that town hall meeting.
Agreed.
The guy that you're talking to, he don't come to these stop the violence peace rallies. He's not at that rally because he don't want to hear it, Emanuel.
So Dante, what do we do?
His mind is made up. His mind is made up on what he wants to do. Like you got kids out here that's happy to see 21, man. Happy to see 25. Yeah, you can reach. I'm sure. Dante, I'm absolutely sure you can reach some of them. You're not gonna reach all of them.
Dante. So what do we do?
I don't know. I wish I knew, and I promised to God, man, I wish we could do something about it. It's horrible.
It's got to be a way that we can reach those that you say don't deserve to be. It's got to be a way that we can reach some of them.
But the main reason I'm making this conversation, my nephew turned 40 years old today. He was murdered for nothing. He was murdered for nothing. My nephew would have been 40 today. And it's ironic we're having this conversation. He was murdered for nothing, Emanuel. 3 years ago. And the guy that did it, man, no remorse, no nothing, man. Didn't care, didn't speak, couldn't say nothing. Just stone face, like, and shrugged his shoulders. He got his time and shrugged his shoulders. Like, man, there's people out here that don't care, man.
How much time did he get?
There's people out here that just don't care, man.
How much time did he get?
11 years.
See, that's not enough.
It's not enough, Emanuel. It's nowhere near enough. But he shrugged his shoulders like, I'll do that. Some people don't care. You killed a man with children for nothing. You went in his pockets, took his stuff, and killed him anyway.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, man. No remorse, no nothing. Didn't even know my nephew. Random, walking down the street. But he didn't care. After the fact, he still didn't care.
So I can see.
I don't know. I don't know what he's going through now inside of that cell and has time to think about it. Maybe he can be changed before he get out here. Maybe he can't though.
But I can see why you would say some of these people can't be changed. Because if somebody took somebody that I love, I say the same thing.
But like I said, man, I pray to God. I wish it could happen for us, man. Because some of these young guys that's down out here, we don't know who they are or what they could be. They could be some of the greatest people in the world, but we'll never know because they're dying at 17 and 16 and 15 and 21. We don't know what we've lost, man. True. We don't know what we've lost. We've lost so many so young. We don't know who they could have been or who they are, man.
Right.
Never had a chance. I pray that it stops. What to do about it, Emanuel? I have no idea, man. I have no answers for you. I'm not going to lie to you. I just hope it stops.
All right. Hey, Dante, sorry for your loss, man. I appreciate your call.
Thanks.
All right.
All right. Peace, brother.
All right. So now I when you begin the conversation a certain way, but I see why. Because if it were me, I'm sure I feel the same way. Some people you just can't save. Ain't no chance, But I want to think that there is a chance for everybody. I want to think there's a chance for everybody. Just the right person got to reach them. But again, like a lot of y'all have said, and it's true, it starts at home. And so that's why I say from right now, if you got see, I think you're looking at 9 years old. That's a little late. If you just now starting and your child is 9, you late. You late. And it's going to be hard to, even at 9 o'clock, even at 9 years old, it's going to be hard to, you got to start this stuff when they're young. I agree with all of that. It starts with parenting. It starts with the family. It starts when they're young. But we talking about people who didn't get that when they was young. And they out there right now. They out there. Okay, hold on. They had bad parents. Let's assume they had bad parents. They had bad friends. They had bad role models. They looked at all the wrong stuff and valued all the wrong stuff for the wrong reasons. But they're there now. Yeah, if you are a parent, if you know a child, teach that child the right way. But when we're talking about 80 shootings in Cincinnati in the first, 3 months of the year, 20 homicides, we got people in the streets right now who, for the sake of this conversation, let's just say they wasn't raised right. I might be able to reach a few of them. You might be able to reach a few of them. What about those that you and I can't reach? They not going to the pool. They not going to the rec center. When you got $250,000 in police overtime, what? For them to drive around the streets? For them to hold events that those people ain't gonna go to? Maybe that's future preventative stuff. The police league or whatever. Maybe that's future preventative stuff. But what about preventing the people out here on the streets today who wasn't raised right? What can we do for them? How can we help them? I really do believe police getting out of them cars, talking to us, not talking down to, not harassing and abusing, because I know we see that on TV and think, oh yeah, that's good. But not harassing and abusing, just talking to them. Just talking to them. And the Tria says not all 80 were juveniles. I'm not talking about juveniles. That's what, honestly, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these grown people out on the street. And I got another call coming in. Hello?
Emanuel?
Yes.
What's going on, man? It's Glenn.
Hey, what's going on, Glenn?
Hey, first of all, I'll say good show, man. Got the callers. Dante, condolences out to you and your family,
Yeah.
Dante. But even CK has some points. But Emmanuel, you make some great points too. But I don't want to say split the baby down the middle, but we got to have one of those moments where we just got to tell the truth. And I think the difference now, Emmanuel, from the mindset that you have, and rightfully so, and I see the comments of Brett and Daryl, we talk about when we played football when we were little and went up through the ranks and you played up until, you can play in high school and that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And those mentors you had along the way, or the people just strictly from the neighborhood. And when you think about it, Emmanuel, I think about my coaches at North Avondale, and they were like the older brothers of some of my friends. I don't even know if those dudes were getting paid back then, but they were our coaches, and we were there at football practice. And again, looking back at it while you're older, like, hey, we spent valuable time away doing something productive instead of being out on the streets doing something non-productive. I can think about, the thousands of days I spent at Melrose YMCA, and I'm there with my best friend because my mom and his mom, they were in a little swim club together, and that's how we met. And the Charles Mills of the world, the Joe Callaways of the world, the people that were impressionable, upon me as a young guy with a mouth, talking that stuff when you teenagers like teenagers do today, just like you did, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
But what I called it to say is the difference is, Emmanuel, back then it wasn't dangerous to come at us. You know what I mean? It wasn't dangerous for me, for somebody to say, who you think you're talking to, young man, when you're 12 years old, 13 years old? Because, you looking at a grown man, and I can't pull out a blicky or as they say, or a stick or a gun and shoot him because I feel like you disrespected. I mean, back then, I guess you could say that it was okay for George Jackson. I remember this. We going to play open gym up at Withrow, and he didn't allow people in the gym with hats on. And I remember, I'm kind of going to walk, maybe 10 feet inside the gym with my hat on, even though he told me at the door, like, hey, take your hat off. I'm there with all my boys. You know how it is. We about to go hoop. Of course, messed it up for myself, trying to be a little smart ass. Now I'm outside, everybody else is inside. It's like 7 of us. Lesson learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could have just went to the car, came back and shut up the place. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a problem, man. And when I say starts at home, Manuel, believe me, I'm trying my damnedest with a 15-year-old. I always say, remember, I talked about when he got in trouble for, speaking back to the teacher in ways that, you and I couldn't do back in the day, or your mother or your daddy, like, you lost your mind type of feeling. You get where I'm coming from?
Absolutely.
Try to break it off early. And that's what I try to do, man. I always tell my son this. I was like, I'm on you because I'm trying to get you to avoid the stuff that I did. That's why I always tell him, like, you're not that slick. I mean, believe it or not, your daddy was actually kind of cool back in the day. I was trying to do all that little crazy stuff.
So Glenn, okay, we agree it starts at home. We agree, parents have to be parents. But we both agree that there's a lot of parents out there that's not doing it, right?
Right.
So,
but then
what about
what happened to? Well, then what happened to the protective layer number 2? Back then, like I said, I mentioned the men at the YMCA. I was in Youth Black Achievers. I remember somebody brought it up on Lincoln Show. CCY. Manuel, I think about it. Okay, let's just keep it real. I'm thinking about it right now. Like, I could have just went and worked for my father, maybe 2 or 3 days a week and just, got away with just doing nothing for the summer. But he got me involved in CCY, so I'm there like every day. We painted the lockers down at Bloom Elementary. Things like that. Again, I didn't think about it at the time, made a little extra money, didn't have to ask my parents for any money. It was my paycheck. I was like, oh, I got a little paycheck type thing.
But
it's just a valuable time. I made new friends.
But
these kids are just, they off the chain, Emanuel.
But Glenn.
And it's unfortunate because they got access to guns and they're more willing to use it. Because like you said, back in our day, it wasn't that long ago.
Glenn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, I agree with all of that. But we talking about 80 shootings in Cincinnati in the first 3 months. We talking about 20 homicides. And this is just in the city proper of Cincinnati.
And what all connects it together?
3 months. Well,
what all connects it together? Let's be honest.
But it's
drugs.
I don't know if
the
that's
drug
the
game.
case. I don't know if that's the case.
I do.
When I talk to law enforcement, the few that are willing to talk to me,
they'll tell you 90% of it.
No, that's not what they tell me. They tell me the majority of it is just people beefing with people. I'm mad at Glenn because Glenn said something, or Glenn messed with my girl, or Glenn disrespected me, or something like that. It's not, a lot of this is not
access to guns. Well, then we go back to access to guns, even though I truly believe that. I don't know. Maybe it's different, other places, but the people that don't normally, carry around guns all day, where you just shoot at people even over stupid stuff, they tend to be those that were in the game. Maybe that's just me. Okay, I'm just, keeping it real from my perspective. Am I lying or flying?
Well, I'm just trying to get to.
We all black, man. We live in the same city. Again, Emmanuel, I get everybody's point, but my point is, man, in our days, at that age where you can make some type of impact, it wasn't threatening to the point to where you might get shot if we felt like, hey, the lesson that the OG is supposed to give you, that those moments of wisdom, I took offense to it and wanted to come back and shoot up the place. And I gave you an example of getting kicked out the gym because, hey, I wanted to act like I wanted to be a little too smart for the day, and I only went in the gym like maybe, I'm telling you, man, it might have been less than 10 feet, but I wanted to act like man, you ain't got to tell me to take off my hat, man. I'm all right. And normally, I'm pretty cool with it. Like, okay.
Look, you didn't go in and shoot up the gym because you was raised right. You probably should have just, like you said, did what you were told to do, but you didn't. That wasn't because you wasn't raised right, just because you're a human and, you were rebellious, whatever. That happens. We all got a little some of that in us, all right? But you didn't go shoot up the gym because you was raised right. What I'm talking about is the people who wasn't raised right today, who are still out there, they 20, they 30, they 40, they 50. They wasn't raised right, and they still out in the streets. They get into a beef with somebody say something they don't like, somebody do something they don't like, they got a gun on them, they shoot them. Now, you can raise your son, he's 15, and you raising him right today, but that don't stop that 30-year-old, that 25-year-old dude out there in the street from shooting somebody because they said something they didn't like, or they felt like they got disrespected. And I honestly believe some law enforcement, if they would just get out of those cars, they would talk to those people with some respect. You know what I'm saying? I believe
but
they
talk
can
to
reach
who?
some
Are
of
you
those
talking
people.
about? Are you talking about regular people talk to the people on the streets type stuff, or the people that are willing to shoot you because of disrespect? Because man, come on, man. Seriously, Them dudes not gonna talk to the police. Hell, they got a gun on them for one thing. You probably got a felony, so you damn sure don't want to be around the police. I mean, they doing social distancing just off the bat. I mean, come on now, right?
I don't agree with that.
They don't want to talk to police. I got weed on me, got some pills, and I got a gun.
They don't want to talk to the police in the context of what you doing out here on the street. You got a warrant. They don't want to talk to them like that.
Well,
but I think if police approach people right, if he's not actively committing a crime to my knowledge. So if I just go up to develop a relationship with this brother or with this sister or with this white guy or with this whatever, and we just talk, I'm not running from you. You're not trying to harass me. You're not trying to violate my rights.
Okay, I get all that. But again, the people that you talk about, they don't even want to be around the police, man. If you want to talk about the community,
for the police to be out of their car.
Well, let me tell you this. Then we're talking about another level of community policing to where we get back to the day to where, I don't know, Miss Margaret say, yeah, Emanuel and Glenn, they okay, but you need to watch out for that little blade down the street. Him and Lawrence, the little badass Miss Fletcher kids, they're the ones causing all the trouble. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, then guess what need to happen? The little badass kids down the corner, them the ones that somebody need to, as Bill Cosby would say, put a body on. You know what I'm saying? Not in the Bill Cosby way. Don't put a body on them that way. But them bad ones is the ones that somebody need to talk to reach. And you're not going to reach them by just, harassing them and belittling them. You got to reach them some other way. And I believe that's a part of what the police need to be doing. And even if, to your point, if they out there in the street, those people don't want to talk to the police, then that's where the police need to be. If for nothing else, run them off.
Hey, let me say this also, because you were talking about Little League practice, and you silly about the moms dropping off the sons and everything. Every single time I go by, what's that? I think it's North Bend and Daly, that football field right there. It's a ton of black parents. I see a lot of dads up there too, but it's just tons of black folks with their sons up there playing football. The little men too. So I always love that because I go to the drive-through right across the street, but that's a different story. But so I just wanted to get mom and dads out there credit, man, for being out there with their son. Real quick, Emanuel, when Miles was like in the second or third grade, he playing for Mason football team. I actually got a picture on my little Facebook page of him. But man, they got like 150 kids out there, Emanuel. I mean, in the second grade out here in Mason. So, a couple bingos come by, blah, blah, blah. So I decided to go to practice. So I want to be, helpful dad. I want to get out there and coach little drills, kind of line them up and everything. So I'm out there. So I have like North Avondale flashbacks. I'm out there coaching them hard and everything. And I was like, Daddy, you embarrassing me. I stopped coaching, Emanuel. I was like, damn, I'm going a little too hard. I feel bad too. He's like, Daddy, you embarrassing me. And I'm on him like a little bit harder. Like, come on, get down in your stance, put your head up, make a swarm tackle. He's like, dude, it ain't that serious. I'm out there like Al Bundy.
Hold on, is Miles balling?
No, man. He wrestled. He played football. He's in the coding. He's in the coding. He's in the computers, robotics.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I'm just, some kids got it, and some kids don't, and there's nothing wrong either way. But I just wanted to know, should I be looking for him? Like, do I need to start being your real good friend right now? Because eventually, I'm gonna get some free Super Bowl tickets.
Hey, if he can make some of that Microsoft money, I would be happy there. But I can't get him to play golf with me, man. It was better when he was small. He always wanted to be with Daddy, so I take him out there with me. Man.
Man, they definitely grow out of it. They grow out of that.
He'd rather get behind a keyboard and a mouse, man, and I say, hey, son, you could be doing worse. I'm down with you. I'll help you wherever you want to go. So that's how it is, man. It ain't that complicated, Manuel. I just need to get out the way. You know what I mean? With my crazy ass. That's the way I see it.
Glenn, I appreciate your call.
Hey, good show, brother.
All right. 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. If you want to share your thoughts, that's the number to get on board. Had a few people. Somebody said no, because if the police come, to my idea, that people don't like my idea. So if the police come, then people going the other way. it's a win-win situation. If they stay and talk to the police, maybe the police can help the situation, change their mind, make them look at things a different way if they approach them the right way. If they walk and go the other way, but police are all over the neighborhood, and you clearing up a lot of hot spots without any violence. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. Oh, they hung up. I clicked on them. Look, if y'all call, and I don't have a call screener, so I see the number, I see it ringing, and I go to it. Y'all be patient with me, all right? Welcome to the afternoon experiment.
Hey,
I
want this Ron D.
All right.
I just want to say kudos to first of all, kudos to Glenn's son. Boy, look, get in the code, encourage him, and boy, look, and do the do, because that's what we need now. I want to agree with you that the things that it does not conducive for us to be continuing to do the same thing. You know, I had an incident yesterday where I was walking across the street.
All right.
And I was walking. I just got off the streetcar, and I was walking to the YWCA to drop something off.
Okay.
And a dude sped as I was crossing the street. A dude sped up, and he intentionally tried to hit me. He intentionally tried to hit me.
Oh, why you say he intentionally tried to hit you? What make you think that?
Because I was walking. He made a left.
All right.
He didn't have the light. He didn't even have the light. And I was walking across the street. I had a light. And he just slammed on his accelerator, and I had to jump back as much as I could jump back. And, you know, I was so heated. And the thing about it is that people are, they aren't, I want to say it the right way. They aren't not loving. They aren't compassionate. They are devious, and they are devious on purpose.
Agreed. That does. Now I don't know, Ron. I don't know that those people that guy tried to hit you. Okay.
No. I know he did. I can absolutely positively know he did. I was there.
I think if he wanted to hit you, he'd probably hit you. He probably could have. He probably could have hit you. But
inches apart. Inches apart. He tried to hit me.
I think he probably
inches apart.
I think what he was doing was he was being disrespectful. His intent wasn't to hit you. I think sometimes we have to give, as humans, not just as black people or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to give each other, like, there are, number one, there are people who can't drive. There are people who don't know the rules of the. Oh no, there are people who don't know the rules of the road, and there are people who just don't care about the rules of the road. Now, maybe what he did was wrong. It was rude. It was disrespectful, but he wasn't trying to hit you.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yes, he was. But that isn't the issue. The issue is what we're doing with these kids and young folks. The thing about it is, man, I smoked marijuana for years, and Yeah, I just wanted to just give you the scenario.
All
I
right.
smoke marijuana. I still smoke marijuana. I got a medical marijuana card,
Okay.
but you know, one of the guys that sold it to me
Uh-huh.
had two of his kids there. And I mean, I was uncomfortable with that, because I was uncomfortable with that. And, he pulled out everything. He had everything. But that was what I was buying, marijuana. And I asked him, I'm like, why you still do that? Because I knew him from a long time ago. And he said, I just enjoy it.
Hold
I
on.
just enjoy
Wait.
it.
Wait.
What?
I'm confused. Number one, I'm confused of why you brought up the fact that you smoke marijuana. I'm sure you.
No, because I'm gonna tie it into something.
Okay. All right. And then
Okay.
second, hold on. But before you tie it in, you have a problem with the guy selling you marijuana because his kids was there.
Oh yeah.
But do you think that there's something wrong with smoking marijuana?
I need it.
Hold on. Here. Listen to what I'm asking
No,
you.
no,
I'm asking you this. Okay. So if there's nothing wrong with smoking marijuana, what's wrong, Ron? If there's nothing,
boy, look, if you drink alcohol, you can smoke marijuana. Boy, I tell you what, people have died from DUI crashes more than they done died from.
Ron, listen to me.
What?
See, you trying to. I'm not asking you to justify anything. I'm asking you a simple question: yes or no. So you don't think that there's anything wrong with smoking marijuana, right?
No, because I
didn't
need
ask
it.
the why don't matter. The
No.
why, just no.
No.
Okay. So
no,
if there is
I
nothing,
don't.
Oh my God. So if there's nothing
I
wrong,
don't.
so if there's
I
nothing,
don't.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. So if there is nothing wrong with smoking marijuana, why is it wrong for the kids to be there to witness this thing that there's nothing wrong with?
I'm going to tie it in. I asked him, why does he still do that?
Oh.
And he said that it was fun for him to do that. Now I'm going to tie it in. The music and everything. It's cool to sell dope. It's cool to sell dope.
It's cool to sell what?
Hey, wait a minute. Dope, everything. Wait a minute. Just let me finish.
Ron, I'm trying to understand the word that you said. Did you say it's
dope?
Cool?
Dope.
DOPE.
Drugs. Anything drugs.
All right.
It's cool to sell drugs. And a whole lot of them think it's cool to sell drugs.
Okay.
And now it's cool to sell drugs and kill somebody to sell your drugs. That is the issue. That is the issue.
What?
And wait, you gonna tell me what? Listen, don't wait a minute. Half of the people that when the homicide happened at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, what you think they doing?
Hanging out.
Well, you hanging out at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, you know what? You're not being honest,
Ron.
And you know what? I done did all those things.
Ron.
I done did all those things, so I know.
Ron.
I know.
Ron.
I know what.
Ron, look, listen. If there's so much to go into, but
What?
people can. When I was in my 20s, we hung out at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We wasn't selling drugs. We wasn't doing drugs. We wasn't buying drugs.
But
We just hung out
but
and we kicked it. And people got into fights and all different kind of
what?
things. Yes, people, believe it or not, people
Hey,
who are hanging out at
it's
3
a
o'clock in
different
the
time
morning
now.
can get into fights. Number
It's a
two,
different
it
time
is a
now.
different time. Number two, you said you have a medical marijuana card.
Yeah.
Why you buying from some dude on the street?
Oh, that was before I had the card. That was before I had the card.
Okay. And then,
Yeah.
all right. And then, so number three, my feeling is if there's nothing wrong with smoking weed and buying weed, then what's wrong with the kids seeing something that there's nothing wrong with? So, and
Yeah,
maybe,
because then let me answer your question.
all right.
Let me answer your question. Because, like I said, he pulled out everything. He didn't just pull my weed out. He pulled out everything that he had. And the problem with that
What's the problem?
that is what they learn. He teaching that. He teaching that.
Okay.
He teaching that.
Right. He teaching that. Got you.
He teaching that.
Yeah, I got you. You said that's what you said 5 times. Okay.
Yeah.
Ron. Hey, Ron, I appreciate your call.
My bad.
All right. That was Ron. Apparently he teaching that. 513-717 King. 513-717-5464. All right, let me go back to the phone. You're welcome to the afternoon experiment.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Hey, this Tony calling.
Tony?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just listening to the conversation, and I know what you were saying too about it start at home, and everybody missing the point of like, what did you do now? Like when you raise this kid, the wrong way, and then he's grown up, and now he's out here running around. Where do you go now? And I don't know for real. I mean, just to be honest, like I think that it's too late. Like you said, once kids get so old, I think that once the morals are set, from a certain age, I don't know if you can kind of get that time back. What you think about that?
I don't know that to be the case. I think maybe a lot of times people start too late. All right. People start too late in terms of teaching their kids morals and values and discipline and all of that kind of stuff. But sometimes you can't reach a kid. Somebody else has to reach your kid for you. So, and that's kind of where I'm going, even with the law enforcement piece. If you put in an additional $250,000 in the budget, let's try to use the law enforcement officials out there more effectively. Let's get them out of those cars. Let's get them talking to people, because like you said, maybe you tried and your kid didn't get it, or whatever the case may be. Quick story. When my son played football, I would tell him certain things and he would dismiss me like I was nothing. Well, you don't know what you're talking about, Daddy. Okay, whatever. But the coach would come up and the coach would tell him the exact same thing that I told him. And somehow a light would go on with him, because that other person was able to reach him. He respected, I guess, the fact that he's the coach. He must know what he's talking about. We said the exact same thing. Sometimes it just takes somebody else to reach out to that person who you can't seem to be able to get it. Well, somebody else can make them get it. And I think with some of this stuff that's going on in the street, some of these 80 shootings, these 20 homicides, I think some of that stuff can be taken care of. People, just some people, law enforcement, coming at them the right way, not violating their rights, being respectful, and just developing a relationship with them might be able to turn some things around, or at least clean some areas. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I mean, it's and like I said, I mean, any ideal is a good ideal if it's positive, but you got to think about it like this, like like the police are shunned upon, like the street guys. So I mean, they don't even want to be seen talking to a police or listening to a police. And I feel like the idols, the idols of like, the hood or whatever you want to call it, it's changed now. So these idols are the rappers. I mean, different people like that, and I'm not blaming them for it, but I'm just saying, you know, I feel like it will have to start there. Like if anybody's gonna be saying anything, like I think it'll have to start with the idols, the people that they already looking up to, the people that they're already listening to and following behind, you know, using the drugs because, the rapper said it. I mean, because when I was young growing up, I mean, people weren't, I mean, you had older guys that were popping pills and doing Percocets. And I mean, now the rapper said that it's okay and that's what they're doing. They're just following the rappers. So I don't think the police gonna do it. I mean, honestly.
Well,
Or you just gotta start giving everybody a life sentence. Because I mean, I'm seeing guys getting 5 years for murder. I mean, that's not gonna deter you from shooting somebody. I mean, just to know they're like, oh yeah, my boy got 5 years. He killed the guy. He got 6 years. I mean, they're not handing out a lot of time for murder now.
Well, let me say this. I understand what you. Thank you for your call, Tony.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying. But I do know one or two police officers, again, of the ones that are willing to actually have conversations with me. I know one or two police officers who can go just about anywhere in the city and talk to and have conversations with just about anybody in the city. I'm telling you, I know these people. I know it. I've seen it happen. I've seen them get out of their car and walk up to a group of people, and I'm like, bro, they not gonna talk to you. And I've seen them. I'm thinking they not gonna talk to you. And I've seen them go have conversations with people, dap them up. That's where I got the idea from. I've seen it happen. Walked up, dapped up everybody in the crowd, stood there, hands in his pockets, just chatting with them. They didn't run. They didn't anything. Because he's built a relationship with them based on respect, based on, I'm not here to violate your rights. I'm not here to beat you down. I'm not here to take your money. Don't do no crime in front of me. And you good. And just have conversations with him. And if he could tell you, then he'd probably tell you that he's probably talked some people off the street. I'm telling you, it can happen. It can happen. I'm not saying it happens every day. The TC says that was a good day. No, probably. But I'm not saying that it happens every day. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it can happen. And if you're talking about doing something out of the ordinary, having law enforcement develop relationships with people who, in my mind, I keep saying in my mind, because this is just me imagining. This is not me stating this stuff as a hard fact. But in my mind, if we can talk, stand here on the street corner and just have a conversation like I'm one of the boys, if we can talk. If the time comes that I have to arrest you, you're probably not going to try to shoot me. Probably. And possibly you will. But I'm going to be able to arrest you in a somewhat peaceful manner. And, we'll deal with it from there. I'm just trying to, if you want to talk about thinking outside of what is normally done, I'm just trying to think outside of what is normally done. But rec centers, pools being open, I don't know. That sound like what everybody else say when they talk about cutting down on violence. I'm talking, they talk about community-oriented policing. When I hear community-oriented policing, I think of what I'm talking about. I don't know what they think of when they say community-oriented policing. But when I think of community-oriented policing, I think the police knowing the people in the community that they serve, being able to have conversations with them. You ain't got to know how many kids I got. You ain't got to say, hello, Mr. Livingston, every time you walk by. But you should be able to be identified. And if nothing else, maybe try to, as Jerika says, build a rapport. In particular, with those people that one of these days might end up in some trouble. You might be able to talk them off the street, like I said. Or if worst case scenario, if you got to arrest them, they're not trying to shoot you. And you can effect a peaceful arrest. Why? Because they know you. Because they've talked to you. Because you've been respectful to them. Respect is a big thing. Because you've been respectful to them. And they appreciate just the fact that you've been respectful. That would be doing something here in Cincinnati that we haven't done in a long time. But all right, y'all, I got to get ready to get out of here. But I do agree. I do agree. It starts when they're young. Somebody asked me how young does it start? I saw that as a comment. When they're actually before they're born. Before they're born. I had a friend. Now, whether or not this might be a little too far for some people, but I had a friend who belonged to a religion. It wasn't like the Nation of Islam, even though he was out of Chicago. I knew him when I went to Alabama State. And we would have conversations. And he would always talk about the master says, because that's who he thought, how he referred to, I guess, their spiritual leader. The master says this and the master says that. And I was like, bro, you belong to a cult. And he was like, no, I don't belong to no cult. I do still kind of think he belonged to a cult. But he was like, no, I don't belong to no cult. But one of the things that he said to me that always kind of stuck with me, he said, babies come from the mind of the man. And I would be like, I don't even understand what you're talking about. That don't make sense. Babies come when you hitting it and then you, and then that's where babies come from. Who told you that? And then, he was like, hey, look, when I say babies come from the mind of the man, the master says that men should really, when you're with a woman sexually, he says that, and again, this is too far for some people, but this is the way he explained it, and it made sense to me. If you with a girl, because we was young dudes at the time, if you with a girl and you hitting it, and you thinking, ooh, I'm tearing this B up, ooh, I'm doing this, and ooh, I'm doing that, and this B gonna feel this, and this, he said, you are implanting those things, those thoughts into your seed. But if you with a woman and you hitting it and you thinking, oh, I love her. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, I wanted it. Oh, I wanted that. That's what you're planting, those type of thoughts into your seed. And in his mind, the master says that babies come from the mind of the man, means the mindset that you have when you are impregnating that woman plays a large part in the development of that child. Again, I know that's too far for some people and it sounds crazy. But even if you take the whole mindset, the mentality, yes, even in fornication, the mentality that you have, I think translates into the amount of time that you spend with the child. I think it translates into the type of interactions you have with the child and the type of interactions that you have with the mom, with the way that you raise your child. I believe that the mentality that you have when you are with the woman, physically, sexually with the woman, to some degree translates into the relationship that you're going to have with that child. So if you ask me, when does it start? I would say it starts even before conception. You have to think, if I'm having sex, there's a chance that there could be a baby, and you got to get your mind right to figure out if a baby happens from this interaction, how we gonna handle it? How am I gonna handle it? How are we gonna raise this child? I really believe that. It starts before conception. And then, of course, during the pregnancy, how you gonna treat the mom, how the mom gonna treat her body. I believe all of that plays into it. You know, you can talk to the baby in utero. Is that the appropriate terminology? In utero. I feel like when I say stuff like that, I sound fancy, even though sometimes I'll be worried, like I think I'm saying it wrong. But you can talk to the baby in utero. So it's a embryo. You know what I'm saying? Embryo don't understand what I'm saying. But just be loving to the baby. Send that energy to the baby. Send that energy to the embryo. And once that baby is born, you gotta nurture. It starts before they 5. If you wait until they 5, you might not be too late, but you late. And definitely if you wait until they 12, 13, you're too late. You got to put in extra work to undo all of the other stuff. Because while you ain't been teaching them and just letting them absorb stuff, society been teaching them. What have they been hearing? What have they been seeing? What have they been feeling? Because everything ain't taught by words, and some stuff is just literal energy. The energy in the house. Everybody walk around the house mad. Everybody walk around the house on edge. That'll mess with a kid. All of that stuff is important. All of that stuff is important. When does it start? What age does it start? Before that child is even conceived. That would be my answer to that question. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get out of here. Well, get ready. I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all calling in. CK, Dante, Glenn, Ron D, Tony. I appreciate everybody who went on and left a comment. I appreciate y'all. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully at 1 o'clock. I got my keys, so hopefully at 1 o'clock, I'll be back tomorrow. I hope something amazing happens in your life today. Until next time, it's been the afternoon experiment. Yesterday I said experience. Until next time, it's been the afternoon experiment. I'm out, y'all. Peace.